Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Utility Sports. Thank you so much for all the patience. I know we haven't been posting as many videos as normal. My life has been crazy hectic the last couple of weeks, not only going out to Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, but also a lot of other stuff going on in my life, going out to the Lynx game and doing a bunch of that other stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while. So it's been a lot of fun, but now we're back with the content. And here we're going to be covering a video that's been highly requested on the channel. And those are some winners from the NBA Summer League that I got to witness in person this year. It was an awesome event and I had a really good time out there, and I'm really excited to discuss some of my big stock risers from the event. Again, I'm not going to talk about all players who rose their stock. That video would take 2 hours probably. This video is going to cover some of the most notable players from Summer League and some of the most notable situations. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. If you do, leave a like, make sure to subscribe to Utility Sports for more future NBA content like this if you do enjoy what you see today. Now let's talk about the video preview here. We're going to talk about some impressive Summer League performers, just like you guys expected, and we're going to talk about their impact, kind of what role they played into, and maybe what role I could see them playing at the NBA level. Maybe there's some players who up their trade value. We're going to talk about those players for a couple instances that I think are important to mention. And we're also going to talk about the situation, because situation matters. Some players had more to prove this summer. Some players really fighting for a job right now. And again, I'm not talking about every single player that I think, really did help their stock, but I'm talking about some of the key ones that are really worth noting. So now let's get to the first one. Olivier Sarr from the Phoenix Suns. I actually had the privilege of watching him live. Also got to watch a lot of the other games through the broadcast coverage. And Olivier Sarr was impressive this summer. He did a lot of great things around the rim. Highly athletic big. For anyone who's known him, you knew that was always there. But I think he's starting to piece some of those things together. He's a lot more impactful than what I remember seeing from Sarr on tape and film. And I think he's someone who, if he is given a chance, probably could showcase some of those things. Very good rim protector, utilizes his length very well around the rim, and again, jumps out of the gym. So he was a really nice, impactful player. The game I got to see him live, he was playing against the Dallas Mavericks Summer League team. And I'm telling you right now, Sarr shut off the entire paint. It was one of the most impressive Summer League performances I've ever seen. Simply in the first half even, he put together such a good quality film piece there just because of how dominant he was on both ends of the floor. He was cleaning up every single offensive miss, it felt like, and flushing it back home for two. And then defensively was great in the pick and roll. Really limited what Lawson and Jaden Hardy could get done for the Mavericks in that one. That was a quick blowout loss for the Mavericks. The Suns dominated them from start to finish, and Olivier Sarr was a big reason why. And then we move into player number two, and I'm actually going to talk about Lawson here. Even though he didn't have the best performance against the Suns, all in all, he did ball out this summer, had a 28-point game in the Mavericks Summer League opener, and he bought himself a roster spot, on a two-way contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that is guaranteed money that I do not know if he was going to have without performing the way he did this summer. He did a great job finding an opportunity here. Tim Connolly did a great job signing this guy to a two-way contract. I think Lawson, looking at the Timberwolves, they sacrificed a lot of depth making the Rudy Gobert trade. Now, I think they replenished quite a bit of it well in free agency with the Bryn Forbes, Austin Rivers signing, drafting Wendell Moore as well. They're in a really good spot. Also, Josh Minott, you have to mention him as well. He had a great summer as well. I did not mention him in this video, but Josh Minott did play well this summer as well. But Lawson, when you look at his situation, his ability to get to the rim off the dribble, he opened up some eyes and got himself an opportunity here on a two-way contract. We're probably going to see him spend most of the season down in Iowa with the Iowa Wolves, but don't be surprised if he is playing some meaningful minutes for the Minnesota Timberwolves at some point this year, especially if they have an injury to, say, a Kyle Anderson or one of the other forwards, say Jaden McDaniels. You look at Lawson probably filling an important role then for that team. Moving into another player here that got a lot of notoriety and someone who, I've talked about on the channel for quite some time. He was the player that won the USA a gold medal in the FIBA U19 World Cup against France. He dominated Victor Wembanyama, and this is Kenneth Lofton Jr. And everything he did this summer basically validated the way I felt about him. If you give him one-on-one post touches against taller, skinnier bigs, he's going to do great because he plays really well physically. He likes to go into people's chests, draw the contact, and he's got a good post arsenal with his footwork, very advanced up and under game, and someone who, despite not the best athleticism, not being super quick, and frankly being a little overweight, he plays basketball at a very high level. He's very talent-based, and is someone who got himself a two-way contract with the Memphis Grizzlies and definitely deserves that just based on how he performed this summer alone. Out of Louisiana Tech, he was an interesting player to scout. Now, do I think he has a super great long-term career in the NBA? No, but I think he can stick in the NBA for some time because he gives you a little bit of a unique offensive advantage against specific matchups against, say, the Chet Holmgrens of the world and maybe the Victor Wembanyamas of the world when Victor comes over to the NBA this next draft cycle. Kenneth Lofton is somebody who you can use to target those lanky, skinny, big guys. Will we see him against an Evan Mobley this year? Maybe. We'll see what they use Kenneth Lofton for. Now, I don't think he's going to play a ton, and honestly, I don't think his upside's nearly as high as some people seem to think. But he definitely did play well this summer and definitely rose his stock in the eyes of many GMs and executives. Another one here, Lindell Wigginton, who had a great summer and was a player who honestly flew under the radar. I don't think a lot of people really knew who Lindell Wigginton was, former Iowa State Cyclone, who needed this to pan out the way it has. He played with the Iowa Wolves in the NBA and the G League this past year. Also spent some time with the Milwaukee Bucks, Wisconsin Herd G League team. And Lindell Wigginton is a player who had a phenomenal summer, was one of the most impactful guards in all of Summer League, and really impacted winning at a high level. That Bucks team was really, really good this summer. We have another player who we're going to mention from Milwaukee's Summer League team a little bit later on in this video, but Wigginton was a huge part as well. He kind of orchestrated everything in the backcourt there. Obviously, this team probably not in need of a lot of key contributors on their roster simply because they are the Milwaukee Bucks. They're a really darn good team, even without some of these Summer League guys. But I think Lindell Wigginton, someone who really opened the eyes of a lot of executives. And really, that's what Summer League's about for these guys. It's all about getting your game out there and let everyone see what you can do, because this is one of the events in the NBA that has all of the executives, all of the top decision makers there in attendance consistently. That is a great showcase opportunity for your players. And again, there's a lot of players who did make strides, but I think Lindell Wigginton was definitely near the top of the list when it comes to how productive he was. Averaged north of 15 points a game, and also was just a real winner with some of the plays he was making out there on the court. Now we go on to another team here, and a trio of Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman for the Golden State Warriors. And I think all three of these are different situations. Moses Moody, he's a player who we got to see not a ton this past year for the Golden State Warriors, but when he was coming out of Arkansas, I liked his game. I looked at him as a player who could put the ball on the deck and score the basketball, and we saw that this summer, which was really big for him, and I think really solidified what his long-term role could be in the NBA, especially with the Warriors right now. They have Poole, Curry, Clay. I think this is a big moment for Moses Moody in terms of showcasing himself, displaying his talent, and hopefully that has an impact on Golden State Warriors management and decision making from their coaching staff, because it's going to be hard to find Moody a lot of minutes when you have such a good, talented backcourt that just won you an NBA championship. You don't have a lot of motivation to go outside of your norm, but we saw Steve Kerr start to work Moody in to their rotation a little bit here and there. And I think really what we're going to see is the replacement of, the Damian Lee minutes. And that's where Moses Moody's going to have to thrive. He's not going to have a ton of minutes this next season, but he's going to be given a better opportunity than I think he would have had he not shown out in the 2 games he played. Jonathan Kuminga, just another example of what we already knew he was going to be. Crazy good athlete, talented offensive player who's coming along in that area, and the defense is there. Jonathan Kuminga is going to have a serious role next year with the Golden State Warriors. I know a lot of people are worried about their losses. This trio is the reason why I'm not worried. They've got so much young talent that is ready to take steps forward, ready for more NBA minutes. And I think that they're in a position right now where they were able to, bring them in a little bit without upsetting their flow and chemistry to a point where these guys are ready to adjust and help this team win. It's not going to be like, oh, we want to play our young players, but we still want to win. they can play their young players and still win. I think that's a huge win for the Warriors. And then the biggest one here, James Wiseman. He hadn't played last year, so we needed to see, again, a real showcase performance from him, and he did that. He had some really nice outings and a few really big-time plays. Again, with every executive in attendance, that was huge, not only for himself and really demonstrating to Golden State what he can do, but for Golden State potentially trading James Wiseman down the road. Teams are licking their chops at the potential opportunity to maybe trade for the former number 2 overall pick at some point. We'll see if something gets done. I'm not saying that the Warriors are in a rush to make anything happen, but let's say a couple years from now, they want to open that door. It's not a surprise to me that they re-signed Kevon Looney on a multi-year deal. I'm not shocked by that at all, and I do not think the Warriors are actually ready to ever hand over the starting center position to James Wiseman. I'm somewhat critical of that. I think Wiseman's a very good talent. I just don't think he necessarily fits what Golden State wants him to be, which ultimately leaves him in a weird spot. I think the talent's all there. I just think the fit isn't quite there with Golden State, which it's a tough system to play in, especially for big men. So Wiseman, we'll see what happens with him, but it was a really good summer for him nonetheless. And then we look at someone who made All-NBA Summer League first team, and that's Sandro Mamukelashvili from the Milwaukee Bucks. Smooth left-handed jump shooter who can put the ball on the deck and did a lot of nice things for Milwaukee. You know, I talked about Lindell, Wigginton. Sandro was way more impactful. And when Mamukelashvili was coming out of Seton Hall, I liked his game quite a bit. I thought he could be a dynamic playmaker with some size and could do quite a few things for you that you typically don't see from the power forward or center position. And I think down the road, Mamukelashvili maybe is the player that Milwaukee envisions being a part of that front court, say when Brook Lopez, you know, ages out of that position a little bit. Maybe Milwaukee envisions Bobby Portis, Giannis, and Sandro Mamukelashvili being the trio of bigs that they run most consistently. And I could see that making sense. Mamukelashvili's game fits around Giannis pretty well and would also give them a little bit more playmaking into their lineup than what they currently have with Brook Lopez. Now, I think they're going to miss the rim protection element from Brook quite a bit, but we saw them stay afloat throughout the regular season when Brook Lopez was dealing with his back injury. So when you have Giannis on your team and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, you're going to be a good defensive team, especially with how good of a rebounder Bobby Portis is on the back end. I think that Milwaukee could not only survive, but also still thrive defensively, even with Mamukelashvili in one of their big man roles, which, you know, that'd be the concern for most teams. But with Milwaukee, the personnel that they have, they can afford to do that. Now, another player who made All-NBA Summer League first team again, Cam Thomas. He was the co-MVP last year in 2021. Now in 2022, he showed out again, including a 5-assist performance and a 7-assist performance, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but anyone who's been watching him since his LSU days knows that Cam Thomas isn't much of a playmaker floor general. And I think that showcase of 5 assists and 7 assists is actually really huge for his game, especially with Brooklyn's current situation. Will they trade Kyrie Irving? Will they trade Kevin Durant? I don't know. But if they do, Cam Thomas is going to be the player that they really try and give the rock to and let him go to work. And he's going to be the moldable player that they want to turn into a star. Now, does he have that potential in him? Maybe, maybe not. That's really up for grabs. But we saw him put up 27 points a game this summer again, and he's doing it rather efficiently from the field. Now, the three-point shot is rather shaky, especially when he's in a main creator role. I figure that when he's off the ball, he can shoot the 3-ball way better in just simple catch and shoot scenarios, or maybe with a simple escape dribble. But off of a live dribble, it is hard to keep that efficiency at a high level. That'll be something to watch for Cam Thomas. But nonetheless, this guy is a certified bucket getter and someone who I would like to have on my team as a youngin, really trying to make his way in the NBA. Moving on to our next player here, and it's Quentin Grimes, another example of maybe a little bit of improved trade value like what we talked about with James Wiseman. And it comes at an interesting time here where the New York Knicks have been heavily tied to Utah Jazz star Donovan Mitchell. Could we see Quentin Grimes getting traded to the Utah Jazz? Potentially. But even if he doesn't, the Knicks have a really good young player here who I liked coming out of college as well. Another example of a second-year player taking a big step forward. And he really looked comfortable this summer. Another all summer league first team performer and somebody who belongs here. I always looked at him as a guy who can make a lasting impact in the NBA. Now, will he be a star at any point? No, but I think he's someone who's capable of being a top 8 guy in your rotation. And that alone says a lot, especially with where he was drafted. Quentin Grimes is really solidifying his stake in the league. And this summer was huge for him, and at least buying him a little bit of confidence and belief in himself from others in the league. And that's one of the most important things. The NBA is really about relationships and what people see in person. And when you're at an event like this and a lot of executives are seeing Quentin Grimes ball out, trust me, that goes a long way in solidifying his tenure in the NBA. Then we move on to a player here in Tari Eason, who I was really excited about, especially towards the end of the draft process. I was a little skeptical on him throughout most of the draft process, but towards the end, I started to kind of open my eyes a little bit more to just the fact that he was highly productive, huge, physically gifted, can jump out of the gym, and is someone who is a really good physical positional defender. And he showed that and more this summer league. In fact, he had even more production than I think anyone would have expected from him. He also had a Drew League performance tonight where he dropped 37 points as well. So Tari Eason's been staying in the headlines, another all summer league first team performer. And Tari Eason, the Rockets got to be feeling really good. They got Jabari Smith, who, his quality of looks weren't there. The point guard play was a little questionable, getting him the rock when he was open, this and that. Tari Eason went out and got it. And that's the one thing you can say Jabari Smith didn't do. Tari Eason was aggressive, hunting for his own shots, and making sure he was putting the ball in the hoop, and he did so efficiently as well. I think Tari Eason's got a high ceiling ahead of him. I never say this, but I did say it before the draft, that if there's a player in this class who could be Kawhi Leonard-esque, it would be Tari Eason. Now, do I think he'll become a mega star and 2-time finals MVP? No, I don't believe that. But I think if there's a player that I'd want to take a bet on just based off of the physical profile and some of the things that we see him do on the basketball court, Tari Eason would be my guy, just simply because of how big, strong, and productive he's been in his career, even coming off the bench for LSU. Now for the Houston Rockets, I think they've got a really fun, tantalizing young talent in Tari Eason to put next to some of their other nice, young, talented pieces already. And then we get to the most important player to talk about from NBA Summer League, and that's Keegan Murray, number 4 overall pick in the draft. And this didn't surprise me, but I think it surprised a lot of other people. Yes, I was critical of the Kings drafting Keegan Murray over Jaden Ivey, and Jaden Ivey looked phenomenal in Summer League as well when he was healthy, by the way. And I still would be. Even though Keegan Murray was Summer League MVP and had a great Summer League, averaging about 23 points a game, was really efficient, productive, defends really well. Keegan Murray checked all the boxes of what I thought he was going to be during the draft process. Productive, good, competitive. He did all of those things. It just basically solidified what I felt about him. The one thing here, though, is he was a sophomore player. I think a lot of people viewed him as more of a finished product in terms of how NBA ready he is. And when you're a really NBA ready draft prospect who goes in the top 5, the expectation is you come into Summer League and you average, 18 to 25 points a game. Even though that's a high number to look at, he went out there and did it. And Keegan Murray was very, very good in Summer League. I don't want to short sell him at all, but I do want to point out draft boards and, reactions to how the NBA draft actually plays out is not based on how good they're going to be their rookie season. It's going to be how good they are by year 3, 4, 5 of their career. Is Keegan Murray one of the best rookies right now? Yes. Would I pick him to be all rookie first team? Probably. Now, does that mean I think he's a better prospect than Jaden Ivey long term? Absolutely not. And I think that's where we're losing a little bit of that, long-term approach, because people are getting stuck in the moment. They're being prisoner of the moment, and recency bias leads people to saying, oh, Keegan Murray, should he have gone first overall? I can't believe I saw that, but I did. Somebody did say that, and it's ridiculous. Now, the Kings did well. This fits their team. I talked about that a lot during my mock drafts, that Keegan Murray was a really good fit next to Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, and I thought, for them, what I recommended was to trade down to 6 with Indiana, or maybe even down to 5 with Detroit, and try and get a little bit more. And did they do that? No, they just stuck at 4 and took Keegan Murray. I think it's all going to work itself out, though. Keegan's good for Sacramento. I think Ivy will be better for Detroit, but ultimately Murray was a huge performer in summer league. So a lot of props and credit to him. Again, I didn't get to talk about every single player that had a good summer. That video would have taken so long for you guys to watch. So hopefully this condensed version of some of the top performers that I really wanted to highlight and talk about definitely did solidify your thoughts on some of the top summer league performers. If you have a question about any players from summer league, go ahead and ask me. I would love to answer them in the comment section. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Utility Sports for more NBA content, just like what you saw here in today's video. Thanks again so much for watching. Go give us a follow on Twitter, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.